Nice to see everybody here tonight. My name is Bonnie Gable, and I'm the Director of Forensics here at MCC. And I am pleased to be supported by my amazing assistant coaches, Sarah Mativier-Schott, back in the room there, and Cree Cox over there with the colorful shirts. And I want to say a couple of words about both Sarah and Cree. They are alumni of MCC. So that is amazing. They are part of a long tradition of MCC students who come and give back to the college. And in particular, I'm so honored to have the tradition of our forensics alumni coming and giving back. And in fact, I again have to recognize Cree as being a founding member of this program back in 2003 when I came here and started it at the college. And Cree was on the very first team, and he has come back through all these years, and he's currently an adjunct instructor with the college, just absolutely amazing. And then Sarah is not only engaged here at MCC, she's also working in the community with Prairie Ridge High School, and a million other creative, astounding community and international projects. The list is too long, I couldn't possibly go through it all. So I am just pleased, and a nice shout out to Pete Lilly here tonight, who is donating his time and recording for posterity. And then we have our Zoom. Shout out to the alums that are all here on Zoom. Feel free to put things into the live chat as we go, or hang out afterwards, or send your notes along later if you don't have time tonight. All right. So parents, thank you. Friends, family, for being here. We're so excited to have you here as part of this live audience experience, which has been very, very limited these days, right? So you might be wondering, what does my friend, my daughter's son do when they are gone on Saturday mornings and spending their entire day immersed in this activity? Well, they're pretty much talking into cameras and tripods for the most part. We did start off with a live competition, which is the tradition and the excitement of this activity, and we're going to end that way, getting back to the live mode of communication. So you are a new audience for them. It's been ages since they've actually had people in the room. Now, when they do participate, and again, my phone is silenced, and I hope all of yours are, in the beginning of the semester, they had to learn what this activity was, just like you're going to kind of learn tonight, like what is this competitive speech program. And you'll see that the students will come up and deliver original speeches, they will become storytellers, and they will be dramatic actors taking on characters. So you will see a range of what the activity goes through. We do performance, we do public speaking. And I'm just going to say a couple of quick words. I think the public speaking part is pretty straightforward. Somebody gets up and gives a speech. We're kind of familiar with that. If you've gone to see a play, you're kind of familiar with that, right? We're a bit different. We share some similarities with live performance, but in the theater, there is sort of a imagined fourth wall that the audience is just peeking through, an invisible fourth wall, right? And the actors pretend like you're not there. So what we do differently in many of our performances is actually break the wall. And the performer will engage and bring you in as if you are their scene partner in the world of the story that they're sharing with you. And you'll notice that they're holding these little black binders. They are symbolic representations of the presence of the literature. And then you will also see they have found very creative ways to make them props at the same time, so it's kind of fun. So that being said, you're like, what am I in here for tonight on a Thursday night in early March to figure out what this is? Well, we're about to show you, and we couldn't be happier that you're here. You're all very welcome. Thank you. And I'll be calling up the performers, but I have a little glitch. Pete, I need to make, I know what to do. I would invite the viewing audience to go onto the speaker view so that the performer will become the dominant part of your screen. In the upper right, click View, go from Gallery to Speaker View. Thank you. first up, let's welcome Angelina Smith and Jonathan Rowan.
And there she was, like a double cherry pie. I smell sex and...
Candy,
Yeah?
I'm home.
No kidding.
Where are you?
In the bedroom, love.
Of course, right where I left you.
Ha. Ha. Oh, baby, look at you. You look down. You had a rough day, didn't you, Mickey?
It was alright.
I bet it was terrible. I bet you missed me. You did miss me, didn't you?
I did. I missed you so much, you know I don't need anything but you. You know that, don't you? I don't need anything but you.
Promise?
Pinky promise.
Then come here. Let me make you feel better. Sensation, pleasure, and desire.
These are all, and some would say, important for a relationship to function.
However, according to the Addiction Center website, addiction is characterized by cravings and feelings of euphoria while in pursuit of the object of desire.
But then, sensation, pleasure, and desire begin to shut out everything else.
Dependency becomes a trap.
What once tasted sweet becomes sour.
Candy.
By Lauren Lugo.
How's that, Mickey? That good?
Good? That's an understatement. I'm trembling.
It's natural after you've had me. I'm surprised you're still standing.
You want to go again?
Oh, baby, I can't. I'm so tired. I'm all run out. Aren't you tired?
Yeah, I am.
How about I just hold you? Mickey, tell me about the first time we met.
Again? How about you tell it? You were there too.
But you tell it so much better though, please.
I was at a house party at my friend Jeff's. It was pretty wild. I was looking for one of my friends, and I went upstairs, and he was in there with a couple of other guys, and this one girl I used to date.
And me?
And you.
It wasn't love at first sight though.
Who's telling the story?
Okay.
I guess it wasn't love at first sight, but there was something about you.
You were attracted to me.
Yeah, I was attracted to you, but I also knew that you were dangerous.
In a good way?
In a dangerous way.
But then you got a little drunker.
I did not.
You did too. And then you asked your friend about me, and he said I was amazing.
Actually, he said that you were all right, and that you were fun, which I could see.
So then, we danced together, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. And the second I had you in my arms, I knew.
Not love at first sight, but close.
Why don't you just calm down, Candy? Just calm down.
You stop that! Stop telling me to calm down. I don't want them here, goddammit.
They're my friends.
They're assholes. They're using you, and they're using us, and that one guy, Dave. Do you not see how he looks at me, Mickey? He wants me, baby. He wants to take me away from you. They spark.
They do not. You're going crazy.
You're the crazy one, baby. Don't you see that?
You're making me sick right now. You know that, making me sick to my stomach. What is wrong with you? Are you mixed up in something, Candy? Are you mixed with something bad?
No, Mickey, baby, please. You know me. You know how I feel. You just gotta trust me. Don't you trust me? Don't you know nobody loves you like I do?
They're my friends.
And what am I? I thought I was your whole world.
You are.
Prove it.
How?
I'll give you all of me. Everything. You call them and tell them to never come here. They're infested. Call them. You know they can't give you what I can.
called them last night, didn't I?
You did.
You're ruining my life. You know that, don't you?
That's a matter of opinion. And frankly, your opinion is bullshit. You know damn well I'm the best thing that's ever happened to
That's
you.
a fucking lie.
Shh. Baby, just calm down. Look, I'm sorry about last night, okay? I know I was bad. I just felt kind of funny.
Stop.
And you were moving so
Stop
fast, and I just wanted you to slow down. And
Stop talking. You were messed up last night.
No, I wasn't. I swear. You know I love you. And I know that you love me.
Or maybe I used to. It's starting not to feel the same. You and me.
Don't say that.
It's true. I just don't feel the same with you anymore.
You will. You just have to keep trying.
I don't want to.
You won't last a day without me. You're shit without me, and you know it.
Get out.
Oh, what did you just say to me?
Get out.
Mickey, don't do this. You need me.
I can't do this with you anymore, Candy. You're sick. You're making me sick. I love you, Candy. I love you more than anything. But you're bringing me more bad than good. I need to get my head straight without you.
You don't mean that. You never do.
I mean it. This time I do. You need to go, Candy. Please don't cry. Hey, I'm sorry.
No, baby, you ain't sorry. But you will be. I want candy. I want candy. There she was. Yeah, there she was. You're cute. Where do you live?
Candy,
Mickey, what the hell do you want?
don't make me say it. Will you just come back with me? Please come back.
Tell me you need me.
You know I do.
Say it.
I need you.
Is it painful being without me?
Yes.
You know you're gonna pay for this, right?
I know, Candy. I know. Candy? Candy, where are you?
I'm in the bedroom.
In the dresser.
Do you want me?
Need it just a little. Just tide me over.
Do you want to take me in your arms?
Need it just in my veins. Oh, Candy. Sweet, sweet Candy.
I smell sex and candy.
Yeah.
I'm going to check in with the Zoom participants. Can I get a thumbs up if you're seeing everything okay? Looking good. Okay, thank you. Then we'll call up our next speaker. Okay, please help me welcome Brennan Brisk.
In the hit show, Grey's Anatomy, a little girl was brought to the hospital to get stitches. Because her injuries were bad, the doctor ordered her painkillers, but she said she had superpowers and couldn't feel pain. Later in the episode, that doctor determined that the little girl really had a rare genetic mutation called congenital insensitivity to pain and anhidrosis, CIPA. According to Live Science, people with CIPA don't feel pain or anxiety and also heal quickly. Scientists have been researching this condition to try to make a new form of painkiller. Dane Inouye researcher at the University of Hawaii explains, by studying this rare gene mutation, we can learn more about how neurons and nerves work and communicate with the body. Scientific American, March 2019, furthers, recent discoveries have exciting implications for the treatment of acute and chronic pain. So, today, we will be studying the superpower of feeling no pain by first identifying the supervillain called CIPA, fighting its symptoms to harness its applications, and finally, battling with its implications. Because, as the New Yorker, January 2020 indicates, these rare CIPA cases are important in genetics because if scientists can replicate this neurochemistry, they could develop treatments that can alleviate the opioid epidemic. Beginning with the background, we'll start by looking at a case example and then the science. First, a case example. When 71-year-old Jo Cameron experienced trouble walking, she visited her local hospital. Doctors were stunned when they conducted an x-ray on Jo and discovered that her hip joint was severely deteriorated to the point that it needed to be replaced. A normal patient in this situation will report extreme levels of pain requiring high doses of powerful painkillers, such as morphine or fentanyl, just to get by. However, Jo reported no pain whatsoever, and even after her surgery, only relied on basic ibuprofen to help with post-surgery swelling. According to the Smithsonian, March 2019, baffled and intrigued, Jo Cameron's doctors sent her to pain specialists at University College London, who took a closer look at her DNA and discovered a new mutation in Jo's genome. According to the British Journal of Anesthesia in 2019, the neurotransmitter FAAH, or the Fa, once thought to be a junk gene, is actually responsible for the pain sensation in our bodies. Fa breaks down something called anandamide, which is referred to as the bliss molecule that regulates memory, mood, and pain relief. As Time magazine notes in March 2019, anandamide binds to the cannabinoid receptors in the brain and body, the same way that THC in marijuana does and acts as the body's natural painkiller and mood stabilizer. However, in the case of Jo Cameron, scientists discovered a new mutation to the Fa regulator, which they called a Fa out. Pain-detecting cells can only survive development if a particular protein binds to the receptor, but in CIPA patients, the protein cannot bind because the receptor is never produced. People like Jo Cameron do not break down anandamide bliss molecules, leaving them to build up high levels. It is this high concentration of anandamide that blocks pain sensation in Jo Cameron, allowing her to eat Scotch bonnet peppers, which are 40 times hotter than jalapeno peppers, and only feel a warm glow. Now that we have identified the supervillain, let's use our superhero powers to find the symptoms and harness its applications. First, the symptoms. Starting with childhood, one of the biggest dangers for babies is teething. Biting through their tongue is one of the main reasons kids with CIPA don't live past 3 years old. But if they do live past 3, they must rely on timers to help them go to the bathroom. And if they live to adulthood, they must also set timers to know when they need to eat because they do not feel hunger pain. Additionally, they must wear glasses or goggles to make sure that they don't scratch out their own eyes. As previously mentioned, the Fa gene is responsible for regulating memory and mood, not just pain. According to The Guardian, March 2019, people with CIPA don't experience stress or anxiety, and they experience being happier all the time, not a moment without being happy. Next, applications. Scientists believe that research on the mutation could lead to a more modern painkiller, making post-surgeries and pregnancies a breeze. As Dr. Dev Srivastava told the March 2019 Scientific American, creating drugs that use the endocannabinoid pathway to modify how pain is experienced is now a real possibility. On the other hand, Stat News points out that the opioid crisis started because people became addicted to legal pain meds and turned to cheaper, accessible alternatives, such as heroin. If endocannabinoid pathway meds became prevalent, illegal versions could become a concern. But yet, individuals with unusual genetic makeups have shaped medicine in the past. A March 2019 New York Times article points to statin drugs, a company developed largely on the discovery of incredibly rare families where everyone was having heart attacks in their 20s. They cite Yale neurologist Stephen Waxman, who says, "I'm reasonably confident that the lessons we are learning from genes involved in pain will lead to the development of an entirely new class of pain medications." Now that we have fought the symptoms and harnessed the applications, let's suit up, do a superhero landing, and battle with some implications. There are two implications from the relief in pain: the dark outlook and the gray areas. Let's begin with the dark outlooks. We would be lying if we were to deny that we can use this for evil intentions. When the science has been perfected, we could use this for more than just numbing the treatments from cancer or helping PTSD patients. Scientists are concerned that we can use this to make super soldiers who can't feel pain or fear. In the show The Blacklist, a man called the Courier had CIPA and he used it to carry out hits ordered from his bosses. If fear and pain control us, then what power does the one that has neither have? Fiction can easily become fact. Next, the gray areas. The question becomes how the meaning of being human is changed by the absence of pain. The January 2020 New Yorker article on CIPA points to German philosopher Schopenhauer, who argues that enjoyment is only an effect of removing pain, and that pain is an actual positive element. The Bible promises there is glory in our suffering. On the other hand, Paul Bloom, author of The Sweet Spot, a book on suffering, thinks misery may not be it's all cracked up to be, arguing that getting hit by a bolt of lightning turns you into a superhero in the movies, but in life, it turns you into a fritter. Still, people over at The Sophist, February 2020, bring up the philosophical point that to merely suffer is to merely be alive, like any other creature. To make meaning from suffering is to be human. We are the beings that recognize ourselves as victims of fate or of premeditated cruelty. And we recognize the forms that suffering can take. So, could using this new painkiller take away the people we have become? Maybe it could turn us something into more inhuman. There are some speculating more about what this new painkiller can mean, philosophically, logically, and even biologically. So, today, we have examined the superpower of feeling no pain, known as CIPA, by identifying the supervillain, fighting its symptoms to harness its applications, and finally, we battled with its implications. Most children dream about being a superhero when they are young. As science researcher Dane Inouye observes, CIPA patients can be considered Superman because they do not feel physical pain. But it is ironic that what gives them the superpower also becomes their kryptonite. And, like superheroes, people with CIPA that allow scientists to study them make sacrifices for our benefit.
All right, thank you. Let's welcome once again Angelina Smith.
You know, talent is such a strange thing to measure. Some people can measure it in music notes or in big trophies or even paintings they hang along the wall. Well, I was 11 when I discovered I had a talent. I was sitting with my grandmother as she preached the importance of cigarettes and non-dairy creamer when the weirdest fucking thing happened. Right in the middle of my grandmother's chest, a bright yellow light started to glow. And the facets, they broke apart the room. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, and 3 weeks later, she was dead. I stood in that hospital room watching my grandmother's light fade till there was nothing. And as I walked away from my grandmother's empty body, I passed by room after room of light pulsating, living and breathing. And that's when I realized that my talent was seeing sickness and death as these beautiful, shining lights. In Greek mythology, Cassandra had the ability to foresee the future. But she was also cursed because nobody believed her prophecies. A study by Live Science found that 85% of respondents would not wish to have this power. In her short story, Sylvia Warner argues that it is truly indeed a curse to have. The Brilliance of Hues by Sylvia Warner. I'm old now, old enough to buy alcohol and to be extremely passive-aggressive. I live in a one-bedroom apartment with my 2 cats and my stressed-out parakeet, Bill. I know he's stressed because he's usually glowing a steely gray, and well, that means stress. I don't date a lot. Well, because I have a job, a real job. I work at a doctor's office. Go figure. And every color from every patient represents something else. Yellow is cancer, purple, a virus. Pink usually means something is broken, and blood clots are usually this hideous teal color. This one time, this one woman walked in and she was just taupe all over. And I had no idea what that color was until I looked at the scans and realized herpes. Should have known taupe was an STD. I was at work one day when in came a man with a small orange light in his hand. It was a sprain. It'd only take a few weeks to heal up. And his eyes were a warm chocolate honey. And I like honey. I stood there for a few seconds until I realized that A, completely staring at this fine man, and B, drooling a bit. His name is Cecil, and he has an appointment. The whole time he's there, I totally sneak glances. And then once he comes up to pay his bill, with his good hand, not the sprained one, and he takes mine and asks me out sometime. He took me to Krispy Kreme. He's perfect. He told me that he likes the way that I speak. Who says that? Men who are perfect, that's who. 3 months had passed by, and the only glow I was worried about was, when my cheeks got all red when he looked at me. Then, when Cecil bent to pick something up and kissed me like he normally does, everything started to feel slower. His smile, it faded faster. We were in bed, and I thought it was the lamp at first, but it wasn't on. A bright green light came straight from his temples. And I've never seen that color before, so I sit up. Cecil. Cecil. Cecil, wake up! Wake up! his eyes open, and I grabbed his head to my chest, and I pressed it so hard to me as if the pressure would extinguish any terrible light and threat. But when I let go, I saw nothing but a green sun in a dark room. I sent him to the doctor, and I had them go through every scan known to modern medicine. He never understood why I was making him, and I just said I had a hunch, but not being honest, I just pushed him away. I don't feel him get out of bed. I only notice him missing when I reach out for him. After a bit, I start to worry. Cecil? I get up and I walk down the hall into the kitchen. Cecil! I flip on the light, and the garage door is cracked open. I walk slowly to the door, and when I fully open it, the exhaust folds and... Cecil! There's Cecil. He's bent over in the car with his eyes shut, and when I run to the door and it's locked, so I start banging my fist against the window. Cecil, Cecil, please wake up. And I just watch as that bright green light slowly fades away, and he's gone. Today, I sit in a sea of black with faces filled with blue. What's the measure of a talent you can't use? I want it out of me. I feel it growing and biting at me like hurt, like pain, like sadness. Like sadness. The crowd raises from their chairs, and my legs do the same. I follow him past the casket. Down the hall, and we pass a large mirror, and something catches my eye. A light. And I realize that that light is coming from me. This bright red pulsating gem. And I know this sounds cheesy and stupid and sad, but I wonder if this is what it's like to be broken.
And Angelina has a class to get to, which is the only reason I'm letting her leave. All right, next, please welcome Isabella Aguilar.
People talk a lot about the moon. They write these beautiful sonnets that speak in elegant verse about how it sets their hearts ablaze with passion, anger, fear, love. But luckily it shines just bright enough to remind me that, well, I'm still human. Oh, you could say that it's different now, that the moon doesn't treat me the same, that when he came, I didn't know that the way he took my hand was a warning. And when I opened my eyes, everything I knew would be gone. And as the night began to melt away, it was as if every sense I possessed began to sing. My brain hummed, and my blood began to vibrate, and my skin, it rippled and began to rip, and my bones, they ached, oh, and my back arched, and my ribs, they cracked, oh, and popped from place, oh, and my arms, they spread to side, sprouting, glorious, white wings. Feminist standpoint theory examines power relations between women and oppressors who seek to silence their voices, thoughts, and actions. Given that fairy tales reflect lessons on behavior, it is not surprising that the female is usually afflicted with a given curse, physical transformation, or magical imprisonment, all of which render her mute. Author Rachel Bettay challenges this silent female trope by giving a voice to the leading female of the classic ballet tale, Swan Lake, in which a princess is doomed to turn into a swan every day of her life. Through this alternative viewpoint, we are able to give this always silent female a voice to share her story, at least until the sun comes up. Swan Song by Rachel Bettay. So, this is the lake, and that's about it. For me, it's the same thing. Night after night, I walk around the empty lake. Oh, but sometimes I collect things, like these rocks. That's boring. Oh, okay, I know that they may come off as these dark, inanimate things, but well, there has to be something still bubbling under the surface. Dark and hard, but still shining. Just like me. But in the end, it's just a rock, I guess. It's nothing. A sudden blow. The great wings beating still, above the staggering girl, her thighs caressed, he holds her helpless. It's Yeats, a real sonnet. My love read it to me once, back when I was free and still. The human body is a strange thing. Why do we look like this? I mean, your fingers and your toes, they all look different when you're... You know, we take things like this for granted. But this is where I am now. And this is what I am now. And my love, he was just a stupid boy. Right. I'll probably never escape. Every day, Every day I will swim in this water, and every single night I will walk this shore. The man who did this to me, he keeps me here. He watches me. I know that he does. But I never see his face. He just stands in the shadows, mocking me. And I hear him at night reminding me that I belong to him. And I hear his whispers on the leaves. They cling to the rain when it falls, and they echo out of the mouths of croaking frogs. I know you're there! I know you're there! That's how I know you're there. And he came for me on my wedding day. Did you know that? The wedding ceremony was just about to begin when suddenly the wooden doors of the church burst open and a fog swirled in around our feet as a voice echoed through the halls. It proclaimed that my love owed him, that I was now his property and belonged to him. And as my betrothed stood in protest, he was lifted into the sky by a cloud of smoke, and then his lifeless body fell. No. A sudden blow. And feel that body laid in that white rush, but to feel the strange heart beating where it lies. It's Yeats again. Beautiful, isn't it? 14 glorious lines about transformation and violent rape. How sorrow rang through my chest. No! No! And as my wings spread to the sky while the people of the church screamed at the sight of me. A fucking animal. Caged and shackled to this man. And now you know my story. Kind woodsman, will you draw your bow for me? When the stars fade and the horizon is golden with new day's light, oh, set me free with your arrow. For I just want to feel the sun on my hands without... And she was a prisoner of the sun and of the stars, prisoner of man, for her beauty was too radiant to be set free.
afternoon, a hummingbird flew through the open door of the apartment to a window in the corner and beat at the glass. It was panicked, trying to turn glass into sky. I wrapped my hands around it. Its hummingbird heart pulsed in my palms, and then I released it on the stoop. They say that a bird in the house is an omen. It can mean pregnancy, or death, or both. The pregnancy was a surprise, and Caleb and I married 4 months later. According to the Abuse Shelter and Support Organization, Bright Horizons 2018, being abused means that you are trauma bonded to your abuser. It's like Stockholm Syndrome. You're emotionally taken hostage by this predator, and you learn to protect them, defend them, and even cater to them in order to survive. This is why so many victims of abuse talk about how happy they are in the relationship, even if they are suffering behind closed doors. In her short story, author Kelly Sundberg shows us that every survivor must fight against their abuser and, most importantly, themselves, every single day in order to reach that light at the end of the tunnel. That light which isn't a bright, blinding white or a faint, dim yellow, but a brilliant variety of hues and colors, akin to that of a sunset, a symbol of the long-awaited end of the day. It Will Look Like a Sunset, by Kelly Sundberg. The police came to our door. When the younger one asked about my foot, I said that it didn't hurt. But I stood up and found that I couldn't walk, that my foot was the size of a football, and it was bleeding like I've never bled before. The bowl Caleb had shattered on it wasn't a little bowl like I had described. It was this heavy ceramic serving bowl, and there will always be a scar shot straight through the top of my foot, like a red star. When I met him, though, he completely charmed me. Caleb was a writer, and he was so funny. One night in bed, he was joking about what our rapper names would be. I said that mine would be Awesome Possum, and he improvised this whole rap song. Yo, get in my pouch. Oh my God. I had never met a man who could make me laugh like he could. The young policeman told me, it's all right. My wife and I fight too. Things can get crazy. I nodded my head in agreement, but what I wanted to ask was, do you beat your wife too? When the older policeman saw the swelling, the black and blue, and the toes like little sausage links, his expression turned to dismay, and he said, that looks broken, man. Does your husband have a phone number we can reach him at? I was so grateful to be married to someone so generous with his time and so loving. We laughed a lot and respected each other. Of all the men I had dated, he was the gentlest. He wrote me love letters. He rubbed my feet. He got up first in the morning with our son so that I could sleep in. He took care of me. And he was more often kind to me than he was unkind. It happened so slowly and then so fast. Sometimes he would disappear for a straight week and return apologetic, reeking of alcohol. I had to lie. Oh, I shut my arm in the door. No, I don't know where that bruise came from. I think I'm anemic. And while the older policeman arrested Caleb, the younger one waited with me for the paramedics to arrive. Is he going to leave me? You didn't do anything wrong. He's going to leave me. Caleb wanted to change. He went to therapy, he got anger management, he did everything right. He started taking medication. Every time he was violent with me, he would go back to the psychiatrist, who increased his dosage. This one night, he said, "You can't hold the things I say when I'm mad against me. That isn't fair, because those aren't the things that I mean." I thought I was losing my hair from the stress. And then I realized I wasn't losing my hair. He had ripped it out. I told myself that it wasn't real, that it couldn't possibly be real, because what was real was when we laid in bed with our son in between us. The whole family cuddled up together. That was real. I was embarrassed at the urgent care center. I told the counselor that my husband was hitting me and showed her the bruises. So many women never get out, but I didn't want to get out. I wanted to keep cuddling with our little boy in between us. Is that so wrong? The counselor said, "You're taking everything he says and playing it on repeat over and over again. You have to stop the tape." But I couldn't stop the tape. I heard over and over again, "You are a fucking cunt! You are a fucking cunt! You..." I am. I am a fucking cunt. You know, there are days when I still wish he would beg me to take him back, promise to change, actually change. Even if he never hit me again, my body will always remember the fist on my spine. I will always remember when my mother brought me into the backyard and said, "Listen to me. I have friends who have left their husbands. It's not better on the other side. Try hard." That's what she told me. Try hard before you give up. I tried. I tried so hard. And as I left the hospital, the doctor said, "This will take a long time to heal. It will change color over time, and when it does, it will look like a sunset." As I drove home, I heard those words over and over again. It will look like a sunset. It will look like a sunset. It will look like a sunset.
All right, Jonathan, if you'd like to go and set up. All right, let's welcome Jonathan Rowan once again.
Humans will absolutely be on Mars in the future. NASA Chief Scientist Jim Green told USA Today, June 2018, but there's a catch. We need to wear spacesuits all the time. Given that the clock is ticking on planet Earth, looks like we're gonna have to suit up not so fast, says entrepreneur Mark Lohr and architect Bjarke Ingels, because their plan for an environmentally self-sustaining city in the middle of the desert means we can keep calling our planet home. Welcome to the city of Tolosa, which, according to Utah Business Magazine, is projected to be built by 2030 in an undetermined desert location within Utah. This could revolutionize how we build cities in the future from the ground up, because, according to the City of Tolosa website, it will have the diversity of New York, the cleanliness of Tokyo, and the social services of Stockholm. And it is Lohr's mission to create a reformed version of capitalism with what he calls equitism, where anyone can build and sell their homes, and the city initially retains ownership of the land underneath. So, today, we will put a stake down and learn about the city of Tolosa by first laying down its foundation. Then, we will build upon its features before finally inspecting some of its implications. Because according to the Architectural Digest of September 2021, Tolosa could turn a barren piece of desert into a modern-day city worth billions or even trillions, using a new model for society where wealth is created in a fair way. Let's start by building the foundation. Bloomberg Businessweek, September 2021, says that Tolosa taps into a long-running and mostly unsuccessful tradition of trying to improve urban life by starting new cities from scratch. Bloomberg also points out that in the American economy of winners and losers, it is pretty clear where Mark Lohr falls. He founded 2 e-commerce startups and sold them both for $550 million and $3.3 billion before spending the last 5 years running Walmart's online shopping. Bjarke Ingels is the CEO of Bjarke Ingels Group and the architect behind both Apple and Google headquarters. Lohr and Ingels share a vision to make Tolosa as sustainable, equitable, and inclusive as possible. There are 2 phases planned. In the first, introduce 50,000 residents to live across 1,500 acres of land, pre-built and ready for them to move in by the year 2030. In the second, the city hopes to have 5 million residents within 40 years. CNN September 2021 reports that the cost of this project is estimated to be around $400 billion, which Mark Lohr plans on funding personally, with help from investors, philanthropists, and government grants. Now that we've laid the foundation, let's build on some of its features. There are 2 main features: innovative infrastructure and quality of life. First, innovative infrastructure. Tolosa will utilize revolutionary methods that will allow it to thrive in the desert environment. According to the previously cited Architectural Digest, the literal centerpiece for Tolosa will be Equitism Tower, a funnel-shaped skyscraper described as a beacon for the city. It will have elevated water storage, aeroponic farms, and solar panel roofs that will produce and distribute energy. In fact, solar roofs will be widespread throughout the city to maximize the energy produced by the sun. Another source of alternative energy is the Hydropower Loop, which, according to energy.gov, is a configuration of 2 water reservoirs at different elevations that can generate power as water moves down from one to the other, passing through a turbine. This allows for the water to be pumped back up to the reservoir. In other words, it is a giant battery that is constantly being used. Aeroponic farms will be scattered throughout the city for accessibility and growing crops in a regulated environment. Utah Business Magazine says that Tolosa must be located to a nearby city in order to be connected to sewers and roads. And within the city, all waste and goods will be moved underground, reducing pollution, allowing for the above areas to reflect our second main feature, quality of life. Now, building a brand new city around these technological innovations isn't a new idea. It's actually been done before. Built in the early 2000s, the city of Songdo in South Korea was designed to put technology first, but lies uninhabited because it put humans second. This is how Tolosa can succeed, quality of life. Along with residents having an equal say in governing, the City of Tolosa website says that participatory budgeting will allow residents to identify, discuss, and prioritize public spending on city projects. Additionally, there will be a new secure way of voting. With both e-voting and in-person voting, the city will incorporate blockchain technology to ensure every vote counts and is kept private and secure. Above all, Tolosa will be accessible. CNN reports that Tolosa is a 15-minute design, meaning getting around town for work, school, and entertainment will take no longer than 15 minutes. Wow. This is really the idea of human life to come first and not second. Urban green space will be integrated with the natural environment so all residents can easily access these areas. The availability for these open spaces will help Tolosa become a diverse and lively city where people can gather and socialize. USA Today, October 2021, reports that the selection process for the first 50,000 is yet to be determined. However, inclusion of various race, gender, sexual orientation, and religion will be their top priority. And the City of Tolosa website says that the initial residents will be entrepreneurs, educators, manufacturers, artists, students, builders, and telecommuters. Now that we've laid the foundation and built on its features, let's inspect some of its implications. There are two interrelated implications: use of resources and equitism. First, use of resources, more specifically water and land. Water covers 70% of our planet, yet the amount being drained by human activity, UNICEF 2021 reports that more than 2 billion people lack access to safe drinking water, and more than half the world's population is without adequate sanitation. With the global water shortage looming over our heads, we could have a little Mad Max situation on our hands. Tolosa aims to ensure a clean and diverse water supply, distributed efficiently. The hydroelectric turbine system can minimize the demand for fresh water, mitigating the future water crisis. Next, equitism. According to Mark Lohr, equitism is where capitalism meets equality. As New York Post September 2021 explains, land the city is built on will be donated to a community endowment, funded by its initial donors. Residents can then buy homes and profit as home values increase. In other words, capitalism. After a period of hypergrowth, residents can then buy the land from the community endowment. Income from that endowment is then invested back into the community for education, innovation, business opportunities, and enhanced city services. In other words, equitism. Additionally, according to the Robb report, September 2021, Tolosa could eventually be worth $1 trillion and generate $60 billion a year for its inhabitants. Equitism goes beyond the land. It's a philosophy that honors it. According to the New Republic, October 2021, Tolosa comes from the word telos, which means higher purpose. The impact that this city could have on the natural environment includes its integrative urban design to preserve its natural resources, allowing for a higher quality of life and greater opportunity. This is for the idea of human life to come first and not second. Mark Lohr believes that this could be a staple of equitism and can serve as a blueprint model for other cities and hopefully the world. So, this is what the future holds. No red planet, but a new blueprint model for the future. Tolosa is a revolutionary urban city that can change our current city models for the future. So, by 2030, once Mark Lohr's vision for Tolosa becomes reality, we can put those Mars spacesuits away and watch as the city becomes legend before our very eyes.
All right, and for our last performance, let's welcome again Tallulah Siso and Isabella Aguilera.
There you are.
Hey, you. So, the doctor said you probably can't hear me, but
They don't know
I figured
shit.
maybe you could. You know, maybe they were wrong, and maybe you can hear
I
me.
can.
You know, I keep telling Mom and Dad not to talk with your doctors in here. You would be so pissed if you knew that people were talking about you like you weren't even here.
I am pissed. I mean, coma or no coma, I'm still right fucking
So
here.
I guess if you can hear, you would know that Mom and Dad, they've talked to the doctors and
They're going to pull the plug.
God, I can't even say it.
Say it or not, it's happening.
But I guess it's gonna happen whether I can say it or not, right?
So, what is this then? Silly Lily? A prolonged goodbye or what?
So, loosey-goosey, I can't let you go without telling you some things that I might have kept from you.
Hold up, I'm on my deathbed and you're making amends? Alright, shoot. I'm all ears.
Oh God, this is hard. I guess this is more for my benefit than yours. I mean, the doctor said that you have
Little to no brain activity. Jinx! You owe me a Coke. Neuroscientists and philosophers still can't agree on the essence of consciousness. But in the ICU, it comes down to two criteria: being aroused and being aware.
Although a coma is a loss of both these qualities, Stephen Hall's 2015 New York Magazine article explains how disorders of consciousness are now considered to be dynamic.
Meaning patients can travel back from a coma using a series of way stations that are increasingly well marked, though still contested by some doctors and researchers.
Playwright Lauren Lugo examines this and leads us to ask, can closeness exist despite consciousness? Jinx, by Lauren Lugo.
Anyway, fuck those doctors.
Oh, I know what you'd say. Fuck those doctors. That mouth.
Like a sailor.
Anyway. Do you remember that toy of yours that Mom threw out when you were like 7?
Mr. Boinkers!
Mr. Bubbles?
Mr. Boinkers, yeah.
Mom didn't throw him out. I did.
Why, Lil? Mr. Boinkers never hurt anybody.
I was jealous of Bubbles.
Boinkers!
Because you always wanted him around, that stupid, raggedy dressed bear.
He was eclectic.
You know, I wanted to get rid of him so you could see that only I was your best friend and not Mr. Bubbles.
Mr. Boinkers. You were always my best friend, Lillian. And you always will be. And I forgive you, okay? I can't speak for Mr. Boinkers, though.
All right, one secret down. Maybe if you could just, like, flutter your eyelashes
Lily,
or
please
something.
don't.
You let me know you can hear
You
me.
know I can't.
I'm sorry, I know that you can't.
But I would if I could.
So, do you remember your sophomore year when everyone started calling you Loose Lucy because they thought you slept around with Ellie Miller's boyfriend?
You have got to be shitting me. Please don't tell me you started that rumor.
I started that rumor.
For fuck's sake!
You were just a sophomore, I was the junior, more experienced, but you were getting so cocky about making the varsity cheerleading squad, and well, we fought the week before and I was still mad. Can you forgive me?
People called me that until my senior year. But of course I forgive you, you doofus. Besides, I did mess around with Ellie Miller's boyfriend, so... Hey, what's wrong?
I do this, I can't.
We were doing so well.
And I don't want to miss you. I don't want to miss you.
Hey, Lil? God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without you.
Oh, we used to sing that song at the top of our lungs in our room. Do you remember?
Of course.
Listen to it almost every day. Well, until Adam broke up with you, then it was all that women scorned crap, Alanis Morissette blasting.
Hey, I like her stuff, okay? Adam broke me. You know, right before the accident, I was thinking about how much I wanted to call him, and then I thought, no, fuck that, I'd rather die. I'm scared, Lily. I'm really scared.
So, Luce, I know that you're probably scared, but I'm here, okay?
I know.
I'm right here.
I know. Thanks. Back to bedside confessions. What more could you have to tell me? What, did you make Adam break up with me or something? Anything else?
One more thing.
Please don't tell me you made Adam break up with me, because I was just joking, and honestly, I don't think I can.
I'm still a virgin.
Wait, what? No way, what about Tommy?
I never slept with Tommy.
I don't get it.
Okay, I know you probably don't get it, but... Well, shit, I'm the older sister. I'm supposed to have sex first. I mean, I had to beat you there, you know? And I mean, you were always such a little...
Tease?
Whore.
Harsh.
I wanted to have it first. Mostly so I could tell you how much it sucked, so you would never do it.
Too late. I did it way before you ever supposedly did. I just wanted to let you feel special, I guess.
You know, it didn't make me feel special or anything. It was just another thing I felt I should do to protect you. Like when I told you I loved you. I said it a lot, and you always got so annoyed when I said it.
I didn't,
But
I just...
For me, it was like a spell. A spell to keep you safe.
It didn't work.
But I guess it didn't work. Maybe I said it too much.
Maybe I didn't say it
Or
enough.
maybe we didn't talk enough.
I mean, that's stupid, dude. We talked plenty.
We sure as hell didn't talk about what would happen if one of us was stupid enough to get into a car with a drunk driver
I know,
and crash
it
into
was
the
dumb.
Like, what is all alone?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I don't want us to fight. You know, Luce, I thought that my faith would help me through this. I mean, I was always a bit of a, what did you call it? A
Bible thumper. Jinx. 2 Cokes.
But I don't think I can believe in a God who would take you away from me.
Don't say that! If you don't believe, where will I go? Your faith will give me faith, Lil, and I gotta believe I'm gonna go to a better place, but I can't believe that unless you do, okay?
But I have to believe that you're going somewhere. I mean, better than this. I have to believe that you're gonna be okay.
I'm going to be okay. They're coming, Lily. It's time.
My kids, I mean, they're gonna know all about you. I'm gonna tell them about all our adventures. I mean, how amazing you are.
How amazing we are. Together.
Wait, Mom, Dad, no, wait just a little longer, please. No, she can hear me. I swear to God that she can. No, don't touch her, just don't. No.
To me, please. I love you, okay? So please don't hate me for letting go. We fight and we make up because we're sisters, and that's what we do. We do things for each other, so you need to do this for me. Let me go. It's okay. Let me go. It'll be okay.
Okay. But I can't be here.
Lily?
Oh, I love you.
Jinx.
Well, once again, I thank you all so much for being with us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the amazing talent and messages that our students are sharing, and the obvious work that they put into reaching the level of excellence that they have. So once again, thank you so much for being part of this.